Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and this is more another code R, and also dog things. Apparently we can just walk straight past her, but in the last episode, Princess happened, and I thought maybe we'd have to talk to her, but apparently not. Well, that was an anticlimax. Or apparently not. Apparently we do have a... Are you finally going to consolidate the fact that you realise this is Elizabeth's dog? Because in the last episode we discovered a whole lot of stuff about Elizabeth. Like how she used to be overweight when she was 8, and how her mother kept sending her letters but her father refused to deliver them, and basically the game wants us to take pity on her, and I refuse because Elizabeth isn't asked. But we also discovered that Princess used to be her dog, although Ashley didn't comment on it, so I'm assuming that she hasn't worked it out yet, even though it was fairly bloody obvious. And apparently Princess is a rather, what's the word, empathetic dog? She can feel feely feels. By the look of her, I get that's what that breed of dog is more or less supposed to look like, but you can't even see her eyes. I feel like she needs just a little bit of a trim. Plus, I mean, it seems like she's been living feral, because Elizabeth, in her house, there's no provision for keeping a dog. Like, there's no dog bowl or whatever. Or dog litter box, because that's a thing. But I'm surprised. We actually are having a lengthy conversation with a dog who can't reply. But it seems like Princess ran away from Elizabeth, and Elizabeth doesn't give a shit. Oh, did you somehow magically doggily know that he's not going to be back that way, even though he told us to go and look at the lakeside café-poo? What is your... What do you want me to do, Princess? We just spoke. Could you not have said something more? Oh. Why is this a separate conversation? Christ on a loaf of brioche. Now, do we have anything that's... I'd imagine that the picture of him will probably smell of him a bit, but do we not have anything else? Well, we could give you gum and hope that you don't die, but I'm guessing the answer is the note. Because he drew it. But why would you need to use a dog to track Matt when he quite clearly left you a note telling you where to find him? Also, it looks like there's an attic conversion in Dr. Robbins' cottage. I don't think we ever actually get to see that attic, but I would rather like to, because... Oh, Princess is following us now. I'm not gonna say back in the day like it was a good thing, but in my high school days my bedroom was a loft conversion, and it got kind of awkward in various foreign language lessons, where, you know how you have all of the typical, things they teach you how to say in various foreign languages, you know, French, German, whatever. They'll teach you, you know, how to label the various items in one's pencil case, because you're clearly going to want to say that to a foreign person. And it got rather perplexing when I had to explain in French or German or whatever that I have a staircase in my bedroom. No, that's not me getting the word wrong. No, that's not me mixing up the organization of my house. You open my bedroom door and the first thing you see is a staircase. Of course, that's no longer true. It's just that was true for the 5 years I was at high school for. Princess kind of forwards moonwalking. Are we in the right place? Because this is the clock tower, and Matt, you were told not to come here. Matt, you had one job. You had literally one job. And you just... What do you want me to do, Princess? Yes, he's there. Congratulations. Do you want, like, a pat on the arse or something? Why are these not part of the preceding cutscenes? Princess, why are you... The only thing you're the princess of is jankily put-together conversations. Holy shit. Anyway, Matthew, what the fuck are you doing here? Are you that eager to dishonor the memory of your mother, who is also dead? No. But also, why would you tell us to look in the café-poo when you're here? Not to mention, you're not supposed to come here. Literally, what the fuck is your fuck, Matthew? And now you're here. You twat napkin. Which kind of sounds like a euphemism for a sanitary towel of some kind. Well... Oh, no. Did you have a pretend flashback again? We've not had one of those from you for quite some time. Did she make an exception to that promise? Did you die and now you're coming back? She told you not to come back because then you'd remember that you're dead and then you'd realize you're a ghost and then poof, you no longer exist. Now, why are you having a block of green text squirreled away inside a block of green text? If you're not going to listen to the first block of green text, then you're not going to listen to the second. And if you are going to listen to the first, then you're going to listen to the second as well. Why not just have both blocks of green text as one long conversation? She sounds a bit like Europe Scalowate. Well... I don't know how crying is perceived within Japanese culture, and this seems like too much of a non-answer, but Sayoko died when Ashley was 3, how the fuck are we supposed to know? Because there was that whole thing with, development of the hippocampus and all that, but yeah, we've not seen any evidence of her ever having cried, so we have no way of knowing for certain. That said though, I haven't cried for years, and I don't know why that is. It's just, like, sometimes I feel like I've just forgotten how, and yet, every now and then I'll have a dream in which something really emotional happens and I'm just sitting there crying. Like last night, for instance, I forget the exact specifics, but I had a dream that Europe Scalo 8 had my laptop, and she just logged in and she was looking through all my files for some reason. And I just looked at and I just got really cryy and sad, like, how did you know my password? Why are you on my computer? And she's just like, oh, I saw you typing it when you were talking to my boyfriend or something, because she's in a relationship and I'm happy for her, and no, her boyfriend isn't me. Yes, we know about the family crest because we read the plaque on the mermaid statue. But yeah, so I'm just sitting there crying. I just curl up on my bed crying in this dream. And she just sort of pats me on the head like, I don't know how to react to this. Well, anyway, the plot threads are beginning to come together, but you won't quite realise it yet. But there you go. Mermaid statue. Same person. That family crest was already described. And I mentioned it was really kind of not a very good, like not a very plausibly written family crest. Yeah, I was thinking that. I was going to say, did it suddenly go a little bit saturated, kind of washed out kind of colours? But no, it's just getting... I remember this part of the game. Like, this part of the game is so fucking random. It gets a bit cloudy. She says it might rain, and then suddenly he catches a cold. And yes, that kind of is the plot arc for this chapter. We're investigating the clock tower, but then also Matthew gets a cold. That's kind of the subplot of this chapter, and it is so random. That is really coming down. That was very sudden. Very atmospheric, though. But he started sneezing before, like it was implied to be relatively warm before this, and I imagine the temperature would probably only start coming down about now, because you'd have those blissful first couple of minutes or so of it raining, where it's adequately warm, but it's still raining, and then the temperature will come down as the rain falls, and you were all sneezing and shit before it even started. And yes, he does go full-blown cold death. Well, he doesn't die, but he gets very sneezy and unwell. So this is a fun thing. I don't remember the exact... I know this does actually help to tie the plot threads together, but it is still very random. So... Also, I'm not sure... Oh, right, I was going to say, I'm not sure why it just cut to a loading screen for a second then, but that was just their shorthand for time passing. So they could do that with weather effects, but they can't do that with unnecessary repetition of explanations. Wow. So yeah, you're kind of low-key dying over there. And also, apparently your brain is gone. And also, did you see that drip in front of the camera just then? That was very atmospheric, and I approve. Oh, this is Rainbow. Hello, Rainbow. But I like the little details they've added to the environment after that rain, because you got the The rainbow... Okay, I'm calling bullshit on that. How could you be 13 and have never seen an actual rainbow? Like the puddle there, and... How can this only be your second? They're not that rare! How is this a rare occasion for either of you? For my American viewers, is this like an American thing? Because rainbows happen all the fucking time. I've lost count of how many I've seen because they're not that noteworthy. I mean, yes, they're pretty, but they happen a lot. They're really not that rare. Fucking I'd forgotten about this. That they're just like, oh my god, it's such a rare... It's literally not a rare thing. Deary fuck in a butt. Also, I kind of don't... I get that an adult would want to humour the child that they're in charge of, but I feel like they wouldn't actually go to those sorts of lengths. Like, oh yeah, let's go and chase that rainbow, let's get in a car and drive for literally fucking miles. Like, there's no way an adult would agree to doing that, unless they were like, high. And in that case, they're in no position to be commandeering a vehicle. So, this is just a chapter of implausible thingities. Really? Your character model looks the same as everything else. Then we'll just turn around on the spot, and he's dead. Oh, wow. He actually is dead. Well, I didn't see that coming. Of course, he hasn't actually died, don't worry. Just, I forgot he did this whole dramatic collapsing sequence. This perplexes me somewhat because catching a cold like that, colds are only that vicious in Japan, and this has been established to be the... I don't know if they get these in America as well, but as far as I'm aware, this kind of, like, a cold this vicious is pretty much native and unique to Japan. Because, like, that's why in anime and whatnot, if a character catches a cold, then it's usually a really huge plot arc and there's loads of episodes dedicated to it or whatever. Or it's just a plot for one episode, but it's treated as really serious. Because in Japan, it is really serious. But in the Western world, it's not that bad. You don't collapse on the spot, you don't swell up all that much, you don't... Like, it won't be enough to knock you out. Like, this would imply that he's got some sort of crazy flu. But influenza doesn't set on that quickly. So... I don't really get what I'm supposed to take away from his illness here. So this is kind of inconvenient, because he needs to be cured, obviously. But we can't take him to a doctor, because then he will be abducted, pun, by the police and taken back to his family. See, you keep penduluming back and forth between... Is it serious? Is it... Like, if it's not that serious, then medicine in the cottage should be adequate. Because, you know, it's not that serious. But if it's as serious as a Japanese cold, then... he'd need more than just fucking paracetamol. So, just... fuckity... Ugh. Now, I would check the cabinets, but surely it would be, you know, in the bathroom. We finally get to see the bathroom for ourselves, by the way. Oh, very nice. But I do not like showers like these, because, like, there's too much space, and it's glass on all sides apart from the walls. So, also, look what we found. It's the toilet.
The toilet.
But yes, is it just me that's bothered by too much open space in a shower? And, well, there's toothpaste. Tropical salad? Oh, tropical soap. Yeah, there was a house that I lived in briefly, where it had two bathrooms. There was like a downstairs, like, small toilet kind of thing, and there was an upstairs full-blown bathroom, and it was fairly huge. And actually, the younger of my father's two sisters, her house has actually kind of the same deal, but they're right, like, instead of one being upstairs and one being downstairs, they're right next to each other, and one's just a toilet. And yeah, we'll just scrub him better. Yeah, like, the one's just a toilet, and the other's a toilet and also a bath and a shower, and it's got all that stuff. And why do you not keep your medicine in the bathroom like a normal person, or is it in the shower? But yeah, like, whenever I visit said aunt, I I prefer to use that smaller toilet room if I'm doing toilet things. 'Cause, like, with showering and toileting, I just generally, like, is it just me who's not comfortable with toileting with too much open space? And we're gonna need this, but that's not a kettle. That looks nothing, like, how could you have a plastic kettle? Just saying, because it looks more like a jug. Anyway, oh yeah, we needed ice. We were told to fetch ice, that's one thing. Is there not enough? We're gonna need to make more. Here, oh dear. How about those ice trays right there that you won't let me click on? Deary fuck. Anyway, is it just me? Got like 4 litres of Cool Pop there. Mustard, we will cure him with mustard. And lemons. I won't make the joke yet again, but... well... okay, well, I checked, and we have no medicine whatsoever, apparently. Unless this is it, somehow. I was gonna say it looks more like sake, but no, it's washing up liquid. Well, where do you expect me to find medicine, then? Yeah, we literally have none. But if I try to leave the house, she'll say, oh, no, we need to find medicine. No, there isn't! I've looked everywhere! We do not have medicine! I would cut until I find it, but no, I want you people to suffer through this with me. I feel like I just checked this, didn't I? Yeah, it's not... You'd expect it to be in the bathroom. And it isn't. Where is this medicine of which you speak? Is this somehow a cabinet that looks nothing like a cabinet? Was it in here all along and I just managed to... because that's toothpaste. And that's not medicine. And then that's a bar of soap. And she said there's none of these. Because it's got shaving cream. And hair gel. And toothpaste. Hair growth tonic, that's... and a shavy shoe. A toothbrush and a towel. None of these are medicine. I swear, if it's one of these that I didn't bother checking, maybe it's buried under the towels. Nope, okay, didn't think so. That's... there we go. Yeah, we could cure him to death with bleach. We checked this, I think. Yeah, detergent. There is no medicine! Feed him sponges. Okay, I give up. I've looked around for quite a couple of minutes now, and I'm starting to think maybe we just have to report back to him and say, nope, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today. Because there's no fucking medicine. There isn't any. There is none. And it's kind of not obvious that, like, she just says, oh, we should look for some medicine, and that's the only hint you get to go back and work out that there is no medicine. But we don't have any. Nope, clearly not. See, why would it make it seem like the medicine's downstairs? Is it in here? No? Yes? Finally! Wow. Okay, so we finally have leave to leave the house then. Holy shit, that was badly handled. Like, I still want to defend this game on its storytelling, but it seems this game doesn't hold up anywhere near as well as I remembered, because every now and then, I'll come across something in this game that just makes me think, fucking wow, what were they thinking? Or, wow, this isn't as good as I remember. You know, that sort of thing. I'm not trying to highlight this game and make it seem bad, it's just... every now and then I'll run into something that'll make me think something like that. And Mr. Bobula, you're the first person that came to mind to, hey, let's go and find a person and ask them if we have medicine. And apparently that's the right answer. Well, she has seen a ghost, but that was in the previous game, so that's irrelevant. Wow, that's just the dickishest response. But yeah, we need to cool someone's arse fever. Why would you even lie about that? But what bothers me is, why are you worrying about ice when you have some ice and literally 2 ice cube trays and also a working sink? You could literally just make your own. I get this is probably a bit quicker, but what is waiting a couple of minutes in exchange for going out and being disappointed by someone else? You can literally make your own. Typical. Hey. Well, what are we supposed to do then? At least tell us who we can ask for ice. Well, we would, but there isn't any. Or is this how we find out? Because I know what happens next, I just don't remember how to trigger it, as it were. I don't remember the step that leads up to the next step. I know what the next step is, and I'm trying not to spoil it. But I suppose it's convenient that Bob happens to be, as he says, doctor-phobic, so that means that he's more likely to suggest what we need to do next. Even if in real-world terms it's not necessarily the best idea. But yes, Charlotte, who lives in the vegetable plantation, the allotments as it were. There you go. He's suggesting herbs and alternative remedies. And admittedly, since it's just a cold, that should be, like, that seems like an adequate idea. But for the most part, you're better off just seeing a doctor, to be fair. But in this instance, because it's a fever of inconsistent severity. Yeah, I did say that wasn't the last time we were going to see Charlotte, so yeah. This is kind of her chapter. And, as I said, this is kind of a really roundabout way of tying up a fair few plot threads at this point. Although, you won't be able to tell at this point, it's just... that's... Wait, shit. Hang on. I just remembered there was a gumball machine and we have 1 gumball token, might as well exchange it now since we're here. Because clearly Charlotte's going to have a gumball machine in her house or wherever we end up going after this. So what have we got this time? Another melon! Boo! So yeah, after that little excursion, I've completely forgotten what I was saying. But this is Charlotte's time to shine in the story, because she's become relevant. Yeah, I've completely forgot my train of thought. See, I made a mental note to remember when I realised I needed to go back and do that gumball thing. And I bet we're gonna come straight in, and then immediately, you gosh darn kid, what did I tell you? Stay away from my garden. But now that we have Bob's recommendation, maybe she'll be kinder to us. Maybe we can hear her epic theme music. And there's a shed, but we probably shouldn't bother. See, now this is a cottage. Fucking wow. Like, these are ones that are fancy houses. And oh, look. Oh, yeah, it's the game's way of tying a load of plot threads together. And you wouldn't have thought it at the time. Like, you wouldn't realise that that's what it's doing. But it is in a really subtle way. Congratulations, you noticed the obvious. Yes, just knock again, that's clearly what I wanted you to do, but just observe the crest. Well, now what? Are we gonna try to leave, and then she'll be like, what are you doing trespassing on my property? And then we'll be like, well, we came to visit you, and then she's like, fuck off. And then we fuck off. But yeah, we've tried knocking, she's not around, so... What now? Please stop me on the way out. Please. Oh. Well, okay then. Could she be in the greenhouse? Did we walk right past her? Can't really tell, can you? Well, I mean... Did I just have to wander around? Because I pressed the upwards button, but then she acted like she wasn't going to go in, and have we finally found her? Hello. I like her dress sense. We weren't going to, we were just going to look at it. We were looking for you. Well, don't be so quick to judge, at least let us explain our asses. Let me guess, how dare you refer to me by my first name because I'm older and therefore better. See, I'm fully expecting her to suddenly get on her high horse, but at least listen to our asses. Well, we don't know your surname! Literally. This is what I thought she was going to, like, this is the kind of shit I was expecting her to start peddling. We can't refer you as anything else. Because we don't know your name. Well, how the fuck were we supposed to know that? I mean, technically, yes, you could have deduced that from, she has the crest from the clock tower on her front door, and the clock tower was built by by the mermaid statue constructor who was also of Graham lineage. But officially, we didn't know that for certain. So how dare you be so rude about it, because we're not fucking psychic, Charlie. But unlike Elizabeth, I am willing to forgive her because she actually does have a decent character arc to her, whereas Elizabeth, I don't remember. But she's cold until you get to know her. Elizabeth is just an asshole through and through. Now, I can't tell if we're hearing her music yet, but I feel like because we saw her character intro cutscene, we probably are starting to hear her theme music now, and if so, it's really good. It's my favourite music in the game. Well, I mean, you could say no, and you don't have to tell us. Like, you could still say no and then not tell us that you're somehow contractually obliged to oblige him contractually, as opposed to something else you really. Ew. Salmon-obsessed buffoon. That almost sounds like a really horrible euphemism for Canadians, but I don't know how Canadians feel about salmon. So, would someone mind filling me in on that? Neither you nor he should somehow expect you to pay him back just for that one act of kindness, because that's like saying, here, have a reward for being someone with common courtesy. Well, like just now, because it got all rainy, and he had a preemptive sneeze and then went all... he went all sneezy-wheezy-Japanese-y. He's fiery poops and very dead. So yeah, I'm not quite sure where he got the cold from, considering it happened before the weather turned, but whatever. But this does lead to an interesting side quest, which we'll have to... Well, it's not a side quest, it's part of the main story. This leads to an interesting part of the story, I suppose, which we'll deal with in the next episode. Rude! Why must you be like this? You don't even know him. How dare you be so presumptuous? We're just trying to be polite. Literally go and fuck yourself. Although you have really nice music, and you do turn out to be a nice character in the end. Ay, ay, ay. And so she returns at that elderly person pace. What have we got? I believe it's a recipe? Spoilers for like 10 seconds from now. Well, it's a thing that's written on paper. Yep, there you go, it's a recipe. Don't know if that was 10 seconds, I'd like to think it was. Why? Ashley, do you need a dictionary definition of recipe or something, you strange child? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But, okay, you don't have to be a dick about it, Mrs. Graham. Okay, I appreciate you calling her out on her being an exposition kind of ding-dong, but... Red herbs and pure water. Well, what qualifies as a red herb? You probably have some, that's probably where we're going to start with this. And then pure water, I'm guessing, is pH 7, so we're going to need to use the chemical testing kit to find it, and... So that's going to be a recurring mechanic, or a mechanic that recurs a single once. And wow, so generous all of a sudden, just because it makes you seem like a good person. And what the fuck do you think? Untainted water. Dear, oh dear. Well, you could boil some... You could just literally just take regular water and boil it, and then once it's back down, that should get rid of most of the impurities. Oh, you have a water pH testing kit, you dildo. Where the fuck do you think you can get it from? So yeah, that's... See, I was going to say, this is kind of why I paid special attention to that so-called kettle. That's not even a kettle! It does not do any kettle things! But yeah, so this is kind of our to-do list for the next episode. Getting all recipe and shit in his house. Or outside of his house, as the case may be. And, oh, a mortar and pestle. Yimmity yumbity yubel. Oh, for fuck's sake, you are full of questions, aren't you? But please don't generalize about her entire generation, though, because that's really fucking rude. That'd be like me saying, oh, you're an old person, therefore you have no functioning hips, you like bingo, and clearly you support Donald Trump. This is not very nice, is it? Just making sweeping generalizations based on crude stereotypes. Fucking hell. So, she can't make up her mind whether she's going to be nice or not, but in the next episode we will do just that. We will gather the recipe and make medicine for this random thing that has happened. But until then, I have been, and will continue to be, Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode we'll do greenhouse stuff and basically what I just said. Goodbye, have a nice life, all that good stuff, see you then.